decrease this. All we needed was segment of really make it happen and what that looks like in your life. This segment is brought to you by Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, your journey to living and loving again. And you can sponsor the Heart Talk sessions because the Heart Talk sessions are very similar to the way the book is written. If these Heart Talk sessions touch your heart and inspire you, then you want to get that book because the book is going to walk you through how to overcome these heart issues. That's why I'm the heart coach. And once I started working on my own heart, I realized the need for somebody else to do something. Let's be real. And I know heartbreak. That's why I want to help other people. And I thank you guys for being here and checking me out on the YouTube page, bit.ly/heart connections. You can catch me live daily doing heart talk. Let's get into vulnerability. It requires a certain level of surrender or submission to be vulnerable. Because when you're vulnerable, one of the definitions is capable of being physically attacked, emotionally or emotionally wounded. And I'm glad they point that out. Capable of being physically attacked, capable of being physically or emotionally wounded. I feel like many times in life, what we do is we find ourselves in a situation that we're trying to protect ourselves from the ability to be wounded. Like we're trying to prevent it altogether. We don't want to be wounded. We don't want to be in pain. We don't want to be hurting. We don't want any of that. So what we do is we try to protect ourselves. We try to guard ourselves and build barriers around ourselves. And what happens is we build barriers. We do. But the problem is, yes, you have prevented yourself from being attacked, but you've also prevented yourself from being able to be loved as well. When you build a wall around who you are, yes, you're protecting yourself from people hurting you, but you're also preventing good natured people from coming to love you and support you and care for you. One of the ways that we have to make it happen in life is we have to be open to the changes that life brings about. We have to be open to the wounds that can come about. There are pains in growing. That's why you hear the term growing pains. And I feel like too many of us have put ourselves in harm's way by trying not to be hurt. You can't avoid vulnerability. If you love somebody, sometimes the only way to get that love back from them is by telling them how much you love them. Not the fact that I love you. Tell me how you love me. Tell me why you love me. Tell me how you feel when I'm not around. Tell me those things. That's the type of stuff that can keep me here. Don't just, I love you. Isn't that good enough? No, it's not. We got to get vulnerable. Oh, I want why you want your marriage to work? It is a little deeper than you don't want people to talk about you. Really, you want to be loved. Then you're struggling with the whole idea. Do you even deserve to be loved? Maybe your first generation married person. Maybe everybody else in your family is single. They never made it this far. And now you're at a crossroads. You realize why. You have to open up and tell this person how you feel and how much you love them and how much they hurt you. And you have to tell them without walking away. That's how we make it happen. And that's vulnerability. Vulnerability is asking for help when you know people are going to think you should have it together. And I go through this a lot because I go through a lot of emotional distress and struggles with vulnerability and things like that. And people are not always welcoming. I can't go to everybody and ask for help. Well, aren't you the heart coach? You already know. Yeah, I know what I need to do, but I need you to pray for me right now. I'm struggling. Knowing is only half the battle. Now you have to do. That's where vulnerability comes in. Because if you're going to get out there on the front line and you say you're going to work and you're going to do what you need to do, what happens is you put yourself out there. You're open to be attacked. You're open to be damaged. You're assailable. Yes, you are able to be wounded emotionally and physically. But guess what? You're also able to be blessed. You're also able to get your prayers answered. You're also able to go to that next level and be who you need to be. Many of us are frustrated and angry with other people because we're not doing enough. We're frustrated and angry with other people because they should step up and help us. They see what we're going through. They know where we are. They should do more. They've been the prayers that we don't believe we're going to get blessed. And then we're disappointed when it doesn't happen. As a man thinketh, so is he. That's what Proverbs tells us, the book of wisdom. As a man thinketh, so is he. Proverbs 23. If you think less of yourself, you're going to continue to get less of yourself. And being vulnerable shows how much you love and you care for yourself. When you love and you care for yourself, you're going to put yourself out there and do some things different. When you love and you care for yourself, you will get out there and tell people how you feel and do things and look like a fool, all in the name of you making it happen. Your dreams need to come true. This morning, last night, as I was preparing for this morning, I was getting some things together in my computer bag, and I found a sheet of paper that, you have I have a legal pad that I like to write on. And I found a sheet of paper that got out of one of my legal pads. I guess it was on the top, and, maybe it didn't, it just was no longer attached. And it was some goals that I had written down. And I realized in those goals, I realized that when I read those goals, it did something to me this morning. I hadn't read them in a while because it was like crumpled up. That particular page, I have stuff I write down like all over the place. Doing it reminded me of where I have aspirations. I have a vision. And so I said it out because I said, I'm going to write this big and I'm going to put it in different places throughout the house. And I realized by putting it up, I was making myself vulnerable because when I make a declaration that this is what I'm going to live, this or whatever, it's okay. There was a time in my life where I would take that as an attack because that's what vulnerability is, being open to attack. I want to tell people my dreams because when I started talking and telling them I was going to publish a book, after 4 or 5 years, I thought you were going to publish a book. That vulnerability, there's fear, there's a justified fear behind being vulnerable, but justification doesn't make something right. You can justify being mean and nasty to someone because they did it to you, but it doesn't make what you did right. It's not correct. You may have gotten back at them. Maybe you got the last word, and maybe you feel better for the time being, but I can promise you that'll be a temporary thing. Sometimes you have to be okay with being a fool. Sometimes you have to be okay with standing out. Like sometimes you just have to be okay with it. You just are gonna have to put it out there. I am vulnerable a lot more than I've ever been. This vulnerability has catapulted me. This vulnerability is why I'm on the air with you right now because of this level of vulnerability. And I don't always have to, I don't have to, I don't feel like I'm crucifying by not show you how much I believe in it by living it. The next thing is, and the more important thing is, Revelations 12:11 tells us they overcome him, the enemy, the negative one, the devil. They overcame the abandonment, the abuse, the rejection. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the words of their testimony. And they didn't love themselves unto the death. What do I take that as? I share, I'm vulnerable with you because that's how I overcome. I overcome by my testimony. And I need that. And you need that. And sometimes you're like, God, I can't do it. Sometimes God will put people in our lives to set an example. I'm not the end all tell all, but I'm definitely shining a light, pointing in the right direction. Go to Him, be vulnerable, seek the Savior who can save you, who can catch you. It's okay if you look like a fool. Look like a fool for Christ. You can do it. Be vulnerable. Yeah, you're open to attack, but you're also open to be loved. You're open to be cared for. You're open to be nurtured. You're open to get your breakthrough. And this breakthrough isn't just for you, it's for the generations to come. You don't even have to have children. When you get this type of breakthrough, your energy shifts the atmosphere in the earth. Your neighbors will be blessed by your breakthrough. I want you to think about that. This has been our heart talk on this beautiful Make It Happen Monday. We'll be back to close out shortly. Make sure you pre order your copy of the new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again, and donate to the movement. It's easy. Go to the Cash App and send your investment into this movement at the Heart Connections. You can also find it on the YouTube page, bit.ly/Heart Connections. But let's be okay with being a fool. We can be vulnerable. Jesus loves us. Trust me, he loves you. I know he does. I wouldn't be here if he didn't. Full for you right here. Melanie Fiona, CeeLo Green. This is going out to you, honey. It's from my Kevin. We'll be back to close out after this. Kai high five.